And a good afternoon to everyone. We are finally here, Devil's Hopyard State Park, located in East Haddam, Connecticut. It's tucked away in the corner of this very rural town. It was very difficult finding this place. The roads are quite narrow. Traffic going both directions, but really only room for one car. So it's a rather challenge finding this quaint little area. It's of course the namesake of our website, and we'll start walking towards the actual park itself. Explain a little bit about the Hopyard itself, the legend, and what exactly it really is, because it's my favorite spot in Connecticut for spending a nice little creepy afternoon. So the state park was purchased just around 1900 by the state of Connecticut. It's 860 acres, and it consists of a very long river, very steady current river called the 8 Mile River, and is famous for its very beautiful waterfall. It's called Chapman Falls, and we'll see that in a second here, as well as the rather bizarre, creepy legends that give Devil's Hopyard its beautiful name. So the Chapman Falls is the first thing that we'll take a look at, and we'll talk about the legends of the time. East Haddam is also very close to Gillette Castle State Park, which a lot of people frequent as well. But this has always been my favorite. It's as you'll see, there's a number of just great geologic features and some nice tunnels. So here's the map here. In Chapman Falls, there's a series of trails that cover the entire 860 acres. There goes Hopyard Road right here, which is travel down. The 8 Mile River comes down here. We're actually right here at the top. This is where the falls are, and the 8 Mile comes straight down. So move the camera up. Here's the 8 Mile starting here at the top, and the 8 Mile comes straight down. Right across, simply bisects Devil's Hopyard into two. So let's take a trip down. You can actually hear the water. Let's get an overview here. So this is a top part of Chapman Falls, and we got a good little current going here. We'll take a walk over, show you some of the finer, more legendary features of the falls. You can see we're getting a nice steady current. I was here during the summer last time, and the falls were rather small, rather low current. So let's take a walk around here, see what we can see. So the legend behind Devil's Hopyard really sprang from the Puritans and their view of supernatural once again, and they were very interested in, of course, they're very fearful of the devil. And so what the Christians always felt was the devil was sneaking around. We'll take a look at that very beautiful stone bridge a little bit later. They're always very suspicious of devilish activities, especially in the woods. The role of the devil throughout history has always been an ever-changing one. The pagans were individuals who worship nature. They worship all elements of nature. Their gods were associated with various aspects of nature. But as Christianity took over, the gods of the pagans became the demons of the Christians. And so when the Puritans arrived here in North America, anything associated with, essentially with nature, if there were some bizarre things going on, the suspicion immediately was that the devil communed more with nature than with logic and reason and the senses. We'll head down here and take a look at Chapman Falls. And so any kind of suspicious goings on in the natural world could be construed to his activities. And you think back to the way that the witches are always portrayed as dancing in the woods, naked around a bonfire, and a dervish of emotion and activity. That's where the witches' Sabbath was held, and those essentially were activities assigned to devilish practices. So this is absolutely beautiful today. Here's Chapman Falls. It is really running. It is very active today. You get a nice flow. This is the beginning of the 8 Mile River here. It flows downstream. We'll see a little bit more of that. You can see at the top, that's where we were. We'll actually go to the top of Chapman Falls and see. So, where the legend came from, those that lived around the East Haddam area noticed small holes dug into the rock around the falls. Holes that were in the shape of, essentially they were cylinders, but they were associated for those individuals as being hoof prints. So the idea is that the devil would frequent this area, would sneak around, play his fiddle, and sometimes get his tail wet. And in the act of getting a little bit wet by the falls, he gets so angered that his hooves would burn red and he would burn holes in the rocks. This isn't an original story. There's a place in Rhode Island called Devil's Neck, which is very, very similar. They have the same kind of grooves in the rock that are present here at Devil's Hopyard. But the main feature of this state park, and we'll zoom back a little bit, is this beautiful fall, Chapman Falls, from which the 8 River flows down. We'll go a little bit further down. I'll show you more of the river before we head back to the top, and I'll show you the hoof print. You can even see the path of the river down. So that's the legend. The legend that this is a cursed area, that the devil is hiding in the bushes, ready to tempt you, whether or not you're viewing the devil as in the trickster mythology or as the corrupter. Essentially the role of the devil has really changed over time, changed with Christianity. The devil being an evil force, generally as is regarded today. There's a period in time where the devil was just viewed as a prankster, a trickster, someone who would try to soil crops and tempt people to commit bad acts, as opposed to actually corrupting people to commit murders and taking their souls. But I think that's really come back around to one of the original views of the devil being the unclean one, the demonic spirit, being something that's very, 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 very bad if you have the faith. Okay, so that's a very loud stream there. We'll go to the top of it in a minute. Let's head back up. Show you some of the other features before we actually talk about the facts of Devil's Hopyard. Let's just get a lay of the land first. So that's the myth. The myth being that this area is frequented by the devil. It's called Devil's Hopyard. The second part of the name of the park refers to a malt house that was located along Hopyard Road, and this malt house has since closed down. It's no longer there, but it was a 19th, early 20th century malt house apparently, and it was part of got itself attached to the name. This rock here is metamorphic. The high pressure has changed the structure of the rock, changed the type of rock to what's known as a metamorphic rock. You can see the beautiful patterns, geologic patterns from this very large structure here. Now, going right underneath Hopyard Road is this tunnel, obviously man-made. And it's one of the more beautiful aspects of this park. It's this absolutely stunning looking tunnel here. Completely constructed of stone. That's Hopyard Road right over that, so you can literally drive your car over it. So it's a pass through. So you head away from Chapman Falls. You can see the ground is still wet. A little bit of a stream used to flow through here. See on the ground there. If this doesn't creep you out, then a lot of places won't creep you out. This is very... You can see, look at the top of that. Look at the top of it's actually white. to get a geologist to figure out and tell me what exactly that is. It's very bizarre. So passing through this tunnel. And essentially is a stream. We're not going to go too much further. This isn't one of the many paths that pass through Devil's Hopyard. Okay. So, in the next segment, what we'll do is take a look at the 8 Mile. I almost just fell over, that's why the camera shook. Take a look at the 8 Mile. We'll head downstream a little bit, and we'll finish up at the top of Chapman Falls and take a look at these devilish footprints and basically solve the mystery of the devil and Devil's Hopyard. So we'll return in part 2.